One of the videos I made during Team Affinity Season 1 was my video on how to complete the program without doing Showdown. And one of the key things with Team Affinity is that Showdown is always going to be the fastest way of getting the program done. However, there are now methods to get Team Affinity done without doing it. It takes more time, but there is a general method that you can follow to get this stuff done. Luckily, with Team Affinity Season 2, they even added on to this to make it a little bit of an easier process for all of us. So you don't even need to do Showdown to complete your Team Affinities. But I will go through the method of how you can get Team Affinity progress outside of Showdown in a somewhat consistent manner. Let's get into it. YouTube, what is going on? We are back with another video. In case you did not know me, my name is Scann. I do upload daily, or at least near daily, MLB The Show tips and videos to help you all get better at the game. So in case you are brand new, trying to get better at the game, trying to earn players, build your team, no money spent, whatever the situation is, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. We're on our way to 6,000 subs, which is honestly wild, but in general, make sure you check around the channel, see if there are other videos that can help you. Also, in case you do not know, I do stream on Twitch nearly every day in the early afternoon around 1 p.m. Eastern. If you want to come hang out with us, swing by the channel down below. I'm going to be doing a lot of TA grinding this weekend, trying to get all this done and pushing for that 99 Mariano Rivera. So, want to come hang out with us, come swing by the stream. It's a fun time. But without keeping any longer, let's go into our Team Affinities and how we can complete this without doing Showdowns. So here I am. I'm about 60%, however far, in the AL East here. I'm going to show you guys the general method that you can follow to get this stuff done without doing Showdowns. And like I said before, I want to be clear. I wouldn't suggest completely avoiding Showdown. Showdown is always a good thing to do. It's going to be the fastest way to get through Team Affinity. But just in general, doing 1 or 2 Showdowns for a division at least along this method will just make it a lot easier. And one thing is that Showdown is a crucial part of the Team Affinity, and it's just good to get good at Showdown and get used to that mode, because you will be encountering it through other Team Affinity and also other things later on in the game where you'll need to do Showdowns for them. And if you need a video to see how to complete those Showdowns in the most efficient manner, check out this video right up here. I made just today as well. It'll show you guys the best methods and tips to get through that Showdown. But if you are trying to minimize the Showdowns we are playing, let's go through this method. So if you remember my Season 1 video I made, we had the gold flashbacks and legends. And this pack is great because you get these cool cards, but you also have missions dedicated to each one of those cards, all these missions here. So one thing we would do is get to the gold flashback card and complete the mission, and would keep on working our way up. As you see, they are very spread out in Team Affinity Season 1. They're spread out throughout the entire program, so it may have been a little slow to get this process done if you were doing mostly that kind of thing. As you will see, these Flashback and Legends packs that are now Diamonds are now more so stacked to the beginning, which makes this a little bit easier to attain. So since these are at the start of the program, you get one at 5 stars, get one at 20 stars, 45, and you get the last 2 at 70. So basically, this is nice because at 70 stars, now you have access to all of those players and their missions. You can throw them on your team to tally the innings, and you could do the dedicated missions. Also, we have our moments, which give 2 stars each of our total of 10 stars, which is a nice way to get things done. You have your conquest, which actually gives you good packs now. I heard there are headliners and stuff in these. But also you get your 30 stars from the conquest. March to October is a viable option. We have a collection here, which gives us 10 stars if you collect 20 players from each division, which is very easy. If you've been doing tops now, the inning programs, the previous tops, and just playing the game, collecting cards, there's a good chance you can get this done already. Then finally, we have our exchanges, which you add another level of exchanges to, and our Showdowns, which you would exchange right here for those vouchers. Now that we talked about all the ways we can get points and those players, let's talk about the method and how we can get this done. First, the collection. Like I said before, this collection is kind of attainable. 20 players from that division that are Flashbacks and Legends. These are silvers, golds, bronzes. And a lot of these cards, you've been earning them through the inning programs, BR programs, monthly awards, tops now, where you'll be collecting them anyway. You could really get 20 total players easily, or you may want to even consider buying a couple players anyway. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw together a team under our managed squad here, and we're going to fill up a team with all players of that dedicated division. So in the AL East, I would use all AL East division teams stacked on one team, to complete these missions. This team is not that, by the way. And once you have your team of all players from a single division, and after we do that collection, this collection gives you 10 stars. So that'll give you this point. You'll be at this point. I mean, you could also do the 5 moments first, which will give you a total of 10 stars. So you could do either one or both of them to get the 10 or 20 stars. But I suggest do that collection for 10 points, then do the moments for another 10 points, and you'll be up to here. You'll have access to 2 of these diamond players for each division. Pick up whichever 2 you want, and then put them on that team with all players in that division. Now we're at 20 total stars, and we just did some moments in that collection. Now this is where we're going to focus on the missions. Complete the corresponding mission in these players. So what I recommend doing is, since we're going to have them all on the same team, we're going to try to focus on playing the conquest map while using these players. So obviously you go to your conquest over here. Once you're in your conquest, you just treat conquest like any other mode. In case you are confused by conquest, I have a video up here and they all kind of work the same. But whenever you play a game versus CPU, use that team with all the players and try to especially get the missions done for those diamond players that you're collecting throughout the program, which will make the process faster. We're going to try to tally those at-bats and plate appearances with those players in the division. So yeah, so if you see here now, there are plate appearances with these players. So all I need to do is throw all those players on the team, and when you're doing the conquest, you'll tally the plate appearances for offline play and for online play if you happen to play the events online afterwards or any other time. And when you're using these players, you'll just build up points by completing these missions over and over again, plus tallying extras for completing the missions for those corresponding players. And this is kind of the process. Work through the conquest, work those innings, complete the missions, and keep working your way up, and you should make a good amount of progress. And just by doing that, and obviously you'll get your conquest done at some point. You could transition to just play versus CPU games on rookie difficulty and just tally plate appearances with those players. You may even be able to get some nice parallel progress, or you could even do it in other conquest maps if that tickles your fancy. Now that's the main method: tallying innings with the players, playing game after game after game, completing the missions as you get those diamond players, and keep working your way through the program along with your conquest, which gives you an extra bump of 30. As you keep going on, you keep completing the missions for every player that you earn in here, whether it's in this pack or this pack. Just keep working your way up through the program. If you want to shortcut it, you could exchange players, buy some silvers on the market, silver, bronze, whatever players, and exchange them. Keep in mind, when you exchange players, you don't want to trade players you're collecting for live series players. Buy extra players or only trade duplicates in, so you aren't spending much stubs or losing out on players that you want to actually keep. But if you complete your exchanges, you could get up to 60 total stars, which is just from 0 to the first pack, which could be a nice little head start to make this a little easier. Then if you happen to like March or October, you can kind of dabble in that if that's something you enjoy. I don't really recommend March or October because it's probably the least productive way to get progress. However, it is a viable thing you can do if you happen to enjoy that kind of mode. And other than that, it's just tallying missions. This is why I recommend you throw in a couple of showdowns, because the method of doing it without showdown is just doing inning after inning after inning in offline play, which is not bad, but that's very mind-numbing. It's not hard. It's easier than doing showdowns, but the showdowns will make it a lot quicker. Even if you do 1 or 2 showdowns, it's 30 stars. And that's a good chunk of progress out of the 150. And that is my general method of getting this done without doing showdown. Obviously, in the last video, I said the same kind of thing. I recommend doing showdowns. Showdowns is always going to be the best and most efficient way. And even if you struggle at showdowns, definitely worth doing a couple of them. But this is the only fast method of getting this stuff done without doing showdowns, and it's going to take a lot more time to do this, but this is the viable way to go about it. Just follow that method, throw in a couple showdowns here and there, and you don't have to do, say, 60 showdowns to get all 6 of the divisions done, and maybe you just do 2 or 3 showdowns based on however you're feeling for each division, and you reduce that workload of showdown if it's a mode that you don't like. But that's going to be it. Hopefully this method will help you guys getting your team affinities. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment section. I will definitely try my best to get to them. And yeah, have a great rest of your day. Deuces.